Okay, good morning. Welcome to
KidMath number 81.
KidMath number 81. So today we're starting chapter 15 of our algebra problem solving algebra book, and it's talking about quadratic inequalities. So instead of finding out where things equal 0, we're going to be discussing where they're greater than 0 or less than 0 or maybe greater than or less than some other number. And so just a first example, we spent actually the whole morning talking about an example like this, so let's go through it quickly in the movie. We want to try to understand when x minus 3 times x plus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So how would you approach this problem?
Well, we have a nice form already.
Yeah, what is this form called?
It's a factored form of a quadratic.
Okay, so we have a quadratic equation and it's factored for us, which is nice.
Maybe we could graph this.
Okay, let's see if we can sketch the graph.
Well, we know the roots of the parabola are at 3 and -4.
Okay.
The parabola is going to look something like this.
Something like that, all right. Okay, so what do we expect we're going to find when we talk about when this product is less than 0?
Well, we're going to find these two areas here equal 0.
Okay. Yep.
We need to find what the numbers off here equal, the numbers here equal, and the numbers this way equal.
Okay.
So how are we going to do that?
Yeah, how are we going to do that?
Well, we could look at each of them separately. We know how to handle those.
Okay. So here we sketch the graph, and we're trying to understand when this graph is less than, or this product is less than 0. And we know it's going to look something like this, or we think anyway, because we know where the zeros are. This is, what did you say, this was -4,
And this is 3.
and that's 3. Okay. Well, one thing we know is these linear expressions.
They're easy to figure out.
They're easy to understand. If we have our number line here, here's 3. And this expression, x minus 3, happens to be 0 here. What is it when x is bigger than 3?
When x is bigger than 3, it's positive.
It's positive. And how about when it's less than 3?
When it's less than 3, it's negative.
Negative. Okay, so all the way to minus infinity, it's negative, and all the way to positive infinity, it's positive when you're bigger than 3. Okay. What about this equation, x plus 4? So let me write this out. This is x minus 3. Here's another one, x plus 4. What are going to be the interesting points on this line?
Well, so this is 0. And this is -4.
Okay.
So it's going to be, it's 0 here.
0 there.
Then it'll be positive going this way.
All right, it's positive when x is bigger than -4.
And negative
When x is less than -4. Now what happens when we multiply these two things together? X minus 3 times x plus 4. Okay, so we have our number line here. What are the important points we want to look at?
Well, you have 0, 3, and -4.
Okay. And what's important about 4 and minus 4 and 3?
Those are the roots.
Okay. What does that mean, the roots?
It means where the inequality equals 0.
Okay. It's where this expression equals 0. Okay, that's where the roots are. So if x equals 3 is going to be an important point to take a look at. That's where it's 0. And x equals -4 is where this is 0. Okay. What else can you tell me?
Well,
How about where we're bigger than 3? When x is bigger than 3, what can you tell me about the product?
when x is bigger than 3, the product is positive.
How do you know?
Because let's say we choose 4, we get 1 in this parentheses, and we have 5, and that's positive.
Okay, so it's positive over here. And we can see that from our individual pieces. When x is bigger than 3, x minus 3 is positive, and also x plus 4 is positive.
So it's positive times
So
positive.
the product is a positive times a positive, which gives me a positive. What about in between -4 and 3?
Like when we choose 0.
Let's say we chose 0, for example.
Well, we could do, it would be 3 times 4, which is negative.
3 times 4 is negative.
No, negative 3 times 4.
Negative 3 times 4 is negative. And we can see that here. When x is less than 3, but bigger than minus 4, x minus 3 is negative.
Yes.
Okay, it's always negative over here, but even when we're looking bigger than minus 4 but less than 3, x minus 3 is negative. X plus 4 is positive.
Negative.
And negative times a positive is negative. Let me erase 0 here.
Right.
Just do it with my shirt. Negative. What about down here? Less than minus 4.
Less than minus 4. Well, you're going to have a negative times a negative, which is a positive.
Negative times a negative, which is positive. And now we see what we saw in the graph. This graph is positive here. See that? See
Yes.
it's positive? It's negative in between here. It's less than the x-axis. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's negative in here.
And
And then it's positive over here. So we find this product is less than 0 when? Or less than or equal to 0 when?
It's less than or equal to 0 when it's this in between area.
Okay, and how would you describe that in using math, that area?
Well,
When is this expression less than or equal to 0?
when x is greater than, well, x is greater than negative 4. But x has to be less than 3.
Okay, now it's less than or equal to 0. So how do you fix that? You put your less than or equal to. Yeah, I think I was saying it sloppy. I think I kept forgetting to say the equals part. Okay, good. And a way we usually write this is we're going to say minus 4 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3.
All right.
Okay. All right. So this is a complicated topic, and we're gonna spend a long time talking about these inequalities. All right.
All right.
Good job, honey. Good job.